Smart Rockets, and welcome to KHRT News. I'm here with Ms. Urbano to talk about her college experience today. Good morning, Ms. Urbano.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Ms. Urbano, what college did you attend?
I went to the University of Texas at San Antonio in my hometown.
What was your mascot?
So our mascot, he's featured right here on my amazing UTSA music shirt. He is Rowdy the Roadrunner. And here's how we do our hand sign. A little pinky, little thumb. This is supposed to be his head and his tail, so he runs across like that.
What types of degrees did you get when you completed your program?
So I went for one degree when I went for my degree, and I didn't do a minor, which some of you might have heard of that before. Somebody studied a big thing and then a little thing at the same time. I just went for the big thing. I studied music composition while I was there at UTSA.
Very fun. What made you interested in going to college?
So this is an awesome question, actually, because boys and girls, where I came from, people weren't talking about college a whole lot. Like, college was something that a lot of people weren't lucky to go to. A lot of them, they would just have the option of either working or going into the military. And I was lucky because my mom had gone to college before me for nursing. And so she was the one that really gave me the idea about going to college. And I decided I wanted to study music because I started playing in 6th grade, carried it through to high school. And I found out that you could study music in college. And that was kind of like eye-opening for me. I decided I wanted to go learn more about how to create music and be a composer. And they had a degree for that at UTSA. So it was like a match made in heaven. I went and I had a great time while I was there.
When you were in college, did you live on campus?
Actually, I did not live on campus because UTSA, back when I was there in the early 2000s, late 2000s, it was not a big school for living on campus. They had one dorm, really. By the time I was graduating, they had, I think, at least 3 dorms at the time. So very little students lived on campus. A lot of them would commute, meaning they'd come from their house or their apartment over to the school. And I lived near campus, and I lived in a couple of different apartments that were considered student housing, but I never really lived on campus.
Were you in any activities or clubs?
Oh my gosh, was Ms. Urbano part of all the clubs and all the activities? I love talking about this part of my college career. So when I got to college, I was on the flute. Y'all know I play the flute. This is my primary instrument. And when I played an instrument and went to college, it was instant friendship with all of the other flute players that were there on campus because, I was studying with the other flutes in different bands, different orchestras. And every time I joined a new band or orchestra or group with musicians, I went to the flute players and they're like, oh, you play the flute, so do I. It was like instant friendship. And going to college can be very lonely. So this was a very good experience for me, playing an instrument going into a collegiate setting. Now, that being said, about 3 years after I started at college, they got a football team, and with football team in Texas comes marching band. Ms. Urbano was part of the Spirit of San Antonio marching band. She was actually the very first head drum major for the whole entire organization. So it was a huge honor to be the very first to be part of that band, to lead them through all these pep rallies and through these really fun games, these football halftime shows. It was awesome. While I was there, I was also part of a sorority called Tau Beta Sigma, which is a national honorary band sorority. And a sorority is like a group of people who get together and they do various things. My sorority was in charge of service to the band. So we brought waters and snacks to the band on long trips. We cleaned uniforms. We basically made sure that the band could perform to the best of their ability at any given time. So that was kind of my organization's duty, to fulfill that purpose. And we had a great time doing it. Everything to do with music, I was a part of, though, right? So a flute ensemble, choirs, orchestras, bands, the marching band, which is, my favorite. And then, of course, that organization as well.
That sounds like so much fun. What was the best thing about going to college?
So I have to bring it back around to being part of the marching band and just being part of these organizations. It's so important, boys and girls, when you go to college to join activities at your school. They have so many different things: sports, culinary, with cooking. They have, gosh, you name it. There's a whole list of different clubs and activities you can be a part of. And being a part of a group in college means you have friends. It means you have people to study with. It means you have people to hang out with after your classes are done, and you're not lonely, because that's really hard that first year, especially being lonely at college because you're all by yourself. And, you know, being part of a group like Miss Urbano with her musicians and being part of so many different activities within the music department at UTSA, that really helped get me through a lot of those really hard times, right? So one of my best memories, one of my biggest memories is being part of those different groups and being able to thrive in that setting with a bunch of friends who liked the same things I did. It was very awesome.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about your college experience with our students?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And I could talk for days, Miss Beecham, but honestly, I think the top two things I would like to tell to our students is, when you go to college, join organizations, join groups. Don't go to college by yourself. In other words, have friends when you go. Don't be lonely. Join those groups. You're going to find so many people from all over the world that enjoy the same things as you, whether it's anime, whether it's video games, whether it's music, like me. All those things are important, but math and robotics and sports, like I could just go down a list. Join those clubs, because it's a hard thing to go to all your classes, study, 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 and then not have anything to do in your spare time to release all that stress from studying, right? So join an organization. Number two, just remember this, it's really hard sometimes to get through those first couple of years of college. If you can get past your first year and you can do a well enough job, stick with it. See if you can go through and finish that degree, because I saw so many of my friends that they got discouraged that first year and they ended up just dropping out of college, which, not to say that that's not okay to do, because college is not for everyone, but if you're able to get through that first year, finish your degree. It will give you so much success in your life being able to go through and finish that degree, whether it's a 2-year degree at a community college like Austin Community College, ACC is awesome, or whether it's a 4-year degree, a 6-year degree, or if you go to graduate school, get your doctoral degree, become a doctor in something. Finish school, get it done. It will be so good for you in the long run. It's going to be hard. You're going to really have to tough it through. But if you have some friends from those other organizations that we've been talking about to support you, it'll make your journey a lot easier.
Thank you so much, Ms. Urbano, for that advice. That was awesome. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Heart Rockets, for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday.